to the practical portion of Colorwork hat class. I am going to do a long tail cast on for this hat. The pattern also calls for a German twisted cast on if that's what you prefer. But in this video, I'm going to do the long tail cast on. I'm going to do the smaller of the two sizes. So I'll be casting on 100. You would do 108 if you wanted to do the larger size. How I know where to put the slip stitch, the slip knot in to get started is I take, here's the end of my yarn over here. I'm going to give myself just a little bit of space, and then I'm going to just wrap this around half the number of stitches I have, so 50. And there's 3, 50. This is very unscientific. It just helps you to not have a really long tail once you're done casting on, and but also make sure you have enough. So that was half the number. If you wanted to do the full 100 wraps, that's fine. I like to do half, and then I have the end right here, and then pull it through so I have double, just so I don't have to wrap that many times. And then this is where I'm going to put my slip stitch. Quick refresher, we go over a couple of fingers around the back, put that the end of the yarn tail through there. Then I'm going to pull this up and through. And there is my slip stitch. If you need more of a tutorial on that, you can go back to the very first bulky hat class I did, and there's a video in there. This I'm just kind of doing a quick review. So that goes right onto to the needle. Pulling it tight. I'm catching both strands with these 3 fingers under here, putting my thumb and forefinger in between the 2 strands, pulling it down to form a V, under, over, over, pulling that strand through. Okay, for 100 times. Whoops, messed that one up. So I'm just going to pull it off, reset. $100. And see how I have just not too much yarn left over, but enough to weave in the ends at the end. So it's just about perfect. All right, so I have my 100 stitches. I'm now going to join in the round and add a stitch marker. And pretty much every pattern that you'll see that is knit in the round, it will remind you to make sure that your stitches are not twisted. And by that they mean if this is twisted in any way and you join, it will not allow you to go more than 1 or 2 rows before it's going to start causing problems. You want to be sure that you're knitting in a nice cylinder as we go up, and that there's no twisting in there. The way I like to do this best is you see here, there is a ridge where the bottom of the stitches are. I just like to kind of visually go all the way around and make sure that that ridge is facing the inside of my round with no twists. And in my case here it is, so I'm good to go. Also wanting to make sure that as I'm joining and starting to knit and purl around, that I have the correct strand. This is my end from my cast on. I want to make sure I don't grab that, or I will get partway around here and run out and wonder what the heck happened, and it'll be that I wasn't using the end that's attached to my ball of yarn, and then you have to undo, and that's just, I mean, it's doable, but it's no fun. So I'm adding my stitch marker to my right hand needle. I'm going to come over and go in through the first stitch on the left needle there and start knitting. This first one, I'm going to make sure I get it nice and snug so I don't have a hole there or a really loose stitch. And per the pattern, we're going to knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, and we're going to go all the way around, continuing in this fashion. When we get all the way back to this marker, we'll just slip the marker right from the left needle to the right needle and start over. How we know? Well, we know we're going to start with knit 2 again once we come around, but another reason why we know this is, do you see these 2 little bumps over here? Those are purl bumps, so we know that we'll be ready to purl those. And these will have a little V underneath, and that is a knit stitch. So meet me back here when we have gone 2 inches with the knit 2, purl 2 rib.